Hi guys, it's Sherry. Happy New Year. I am so glad that we made it to 2021 together. And I am so thankful and so grateful that you are here. So today we are going to do something a little bit different on the channel. We are going to wrap up 2020 and I am going to share with you guys some of the things that I personally felt helped to make my channel successful in 2020. And they are some of my favorite things. And every time I say that, I want to break out into the Sound of Music's My Favorite Things, but you guys really don't need to hear me try to sing that song. So what I will do is show you my favorite things. Stay tuned. So I am going to share with you my favorite things in no particular order, with the exception of my final two, because they're my absolute favorites from 2020. But before we get started, go ahead and see if you can guess what my favorite things are for the year and see how many you get right. And then let me know in the comments how many of my favorite things did you actually guess. And so first on my list of favorite things is this Full Mark tape runner. Now I found these after I went on an extensive search on Amazon trying to find a new tape runner to replace one that I wasn't too happy with. And I came across these, and I believe that you got 10 or 12 in a pack for $17 or $19. Very economical, and they are loaded, absolutely loaded with adhesive. And what I like about them is that the adhesive just glides on. It is such a smooth glide. And then when you stick it, you get such a nice little stick. And yes, I am using up some beautiful scrap for this demonstration. And I think I found these towards the middle of 2020, and I really have worked with them exclusively. I haven't used any other tape runner at all. Now, one thing that I will say about this tape runner, even though it's my favorite, every now and then you'll get the little tape boogers. That's the best way to describe them. And to get rid of them, guys, it's really simple. You just go in and with something pointy, just remove them. Very, very easy. So this is the first thing in my list of favorite things. Like I said, no particular order with the exception of the final two that I will show. And then next up on my list, how can I not have a favorites and not include this beautiful selection of Italian wrapping paper? It is absolutely gorgeous. And look at the ladies. They are stunning. And you guys heard me rave and rave and rave about these ladies and that beautiful, beautiful gold that's been infused on their bodies and around their necks and their shoes. They have such sass and such brass. They are truly one of my favorite papers to work with. And then we're going to come to this one. Another absolute favorite, because if you're like me and you like shoes, this one really will do it for you. Look at these shoes, and they have the gold going through them as well. They are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And then we have peacock feathers. All of these Italian wrapping papers that I showed you guys in 2020 have that gold going through them. But they are super long and super easy to work with. So another one of my favorite things from 2020, Italian wrapping paper by Rossi. That's R-O-S-S-I. And these were a new find for me in 2020, but you guys saw me using them over and over and over. It is the poster board that I found at the Dollar Tree. I'm sure a lot of you already knew about it, but I didn't. And I will tell you that these are perfect for a whole host of paper crafting projects. I have used them to make cards. I have used them to make embellishments. I have used them to make boxes and bags. They are just so versatile and so sturdy. And this black is just such a rich shade of black, and it is so elegant. So these are a part of my new favorite things. These were new finds, but they quickly rose to my list of favorite things. And of course, it would absolutely not be a favorite things segment without my metals. And this isn't all that I use. These are just some that I pulled out to show you guys how much I love working with metals with my paper craft projects. And as many of you have commented, when you add metal feet or a metal handle or even a metal door knocker, they just elevate the look of your project from being something that everyone else might be trying to do, but they take it next level. So on my list of favorites, metals. And then I have another new favorite, and this is a family plug, but it is a true favorite because it is one of my niece's handmade candles. This one is what she calls a jumbo tea light. Now, I knew my niece made candles, but I didn't know my niece made candles, and she most certainly does. And these have such a fragrance, and I am using them all over my studio now. My sisters are using them, and a lot of you actually ordered some from her after I did the little presentation box and introduced the candle to you guys. But for me, personally, not just on the channel, but personally and in my studio, just to elevate my mood, I am burning some of these candles, and they smell fabulous. So a new find for me in 2020 are candles by my niece Jasmine. Love them. And of course, guys, it would not be my favorite things without Anagriffin. Y'all know I use Anagriffin a lot when I embellish my projects. And I have card making kits, card boxes. I have so much Anagriffin because I've been a collector for over a decade, probably more like 12 or 13 years now. So I make it a point to always try and collect a few new things each year from the new collections that she comes out with. And this year I did the Christmas box, of course, and I did a few Father's Day boxes that she came out with, but I also did Happy Easter. And these are just so elegant, and I can't wait to craft for these as we move towards the Easter season. I am just going to hold this up so that you guys can see the chick coming out of the egg with the bunny. It's just so elegant. And y'all know that when I have laid a piece of Anagriffin down on one of my projects, it just sets it apart from any other embellishment that I might choose to use on a project. And it elevates my project to a whole new stratosphere. So I am a big fan of Anagriffin. And this is certainly not a new find for me on the channel in 2020. I have been pulling in pieces of Anagriffin on my channel since I started my YouTube channel back in 2018. But I did want to make sure that this was on my list of favorite things so that you guys could see all of the beauty that you can get when you purchase an Anagriffin product and use it in your crafting. So now I'm going to share a few things all in one. This is an all-in-one favorite thing. I get a lot of questions about my hands, and I've said it in comments. I am very blessed to have the hands of my mother. My mom's hands look just like mine, and I always thought she had the most beautiful hands ever. And I love it when you guys compliment my hands because my mother has since passed away. So when you compliment my hands through me, it is a compliment to my mother. So during COVID, a lot of the nail salons were on lockdown, and I wanted to make sure that my hands were always presentable on camera. So I decided that I would invest in my own at-home manicure set. Best investment I ever made because I have stopped going and having my nails professionally done, and I do them myself at home. So one of my favorite things from this year, because it helped me to keep my hands looking decent enough to present to you guys on camera as I do a tutorial, is this awesome nail lamp. And it's meant to work with the gel nail polishes, and it is fantastic. I use mine all the time whenever I do my nails, and this truly did make such a difference during the times that the nail salons were closed, because several of you actually sent me comments saying that I was breaking the rules by going to get my nails done when I wasn't. I was actually doing them myself. So this is a part of my hand routine. And I am going to bring in the other two things that round out my set. I get asked all the time, what do you put on your hands? What is your hand care routine? I really don't have one. Here's what I do. I use this baby oil from the Dollar Tree. I found it a few years ago, fell in love with how it feels on my hands. So this is the baby oil that I place on my hands. Then after I have placed the baby oil on my hands, I use Dove's Intensive Cream Nourishing Care cream, and that's all it is. That is my whole routine. So the first thing that I do is I take just a little bit of baby oil and I rub it in my hands. I do this before I make a video. I do this after I take a bath or shower, and I do this before I go to bed. So I rub it in and I take off my ring so I won't get this in there. And I take some cream and then I just rub it in to seal that oil in. And guys, that is literally all that I do to my hands. I don't do any more than you're seeing me do right now. And so this is what I do with my hands. And so to keep my hands looking decent for you guys on camera, these are my favorite things for keeping my hands presentable. And of course, you knew that chipboard had to make the cut. Where would I be in 2020 without my beloved chipboard? And for me, it's kind of like Frank's Red Hot Sauce. If you guys have seen those commercials, I put that bleep on everything. Seriously though, I do enjoy crafting with my chipboard. I love the sturdiness that it gives to my projects, and I love the professional finish that I'm able to get when I make a chipboard box or a chipboard purse. It just adds so much to how our projects turn out and the longevity and the durability of that project. So of course, chipboard is one of my 2020 favorites. And we're getting down to the wire, guys, but where would I have been in 2020 without my big old spatula? I can't tell you how many comments you guys have left me about calling it a big old spatula and how you now call it that as well. But it is. And I love this thing. It's by We Are Memory Keepers. This one came from Tuesday Morning, but I'm pretty sure you can find them online. But what I like about it is the amount of space you can cover when you are spreading or burnishing. Such a wide space to cover. And along with my big old spatula, there was a baby spatula. So this one is great when I need to get in tight, but this one is perfect for just almost any project that I'm doing. So big old spatula, one of my favorite things from 2020. And now we're down to my final two. Can you guess what they are? What haven't you seen that you see me use all of the time? My absolute favorites, cannot and will not craft without them. I am going to bring them both in at the same time because they are both equally important to me. My Reptile adhesive and my finger blade, invaluable to my crafting. And for me, nothing compares or comes close to the difference that Reptile has made for me in my crafting. And of course, this is like my sixth finger here on this hand. I have been crafting with this thing for over 15 years. Cannot craft without it. Much better with this than I am with a pair of scissors. And that is why you see me use it 99% of the time when I am crafting. These two are so small, but they make such a big difference in everything that I do. Reptile adhesive, found it about a year ago, never looked back. Never, ever looked back. My finger blade, like I said, I am 15 years with this thing, at least, maybe even longer. I don't know, because it's always been there for me. And I love working with these. So these two things for me are the two most important things that I used in 2020, because I can start with all of the most beautiful papers in the world, but if I can't cut them with efficiency, And if I can't adhere them together in a way that is nice and smooth and they're going to stick, what good is that paper? It all starts with our tools. And these are my two most favorite tools in my arsenal. So let's have a final look at all of my favorites from 2020. And I hope that some of these are old or new favorites of yours. So those were my favorite things from 2020. Some old and some new. How many did you guess? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And I'm sure in 2021, we will discover some new favorites together. You guys, Happy New Year. Be safe, be kind, and we'll chat later.